Muties forever. Those were the final words of General Clacton Fuzz, one of the most memorable figures in the Strontium Dog universe. A soldier, a leader, and a martyr of mutant pride, Clacton Fuzz lived and died by his convictions that mutants deserved freedom, no matter the cost. Today, I am going to trace his story whilst painting him in the background. Make sure you're looking and enjoying the video, as the paint pots will pop up as we go through this. And of course, I'm going to talk about his lore in Strontium Dogs. So we are going to follow his rise from the Mutant Uprising of 2167 to his unfortunate fiery death, and the legacy continued by his son Frinton Fuzz. By the year 2167 AD, Earth's mutants had endured decades of oppression. The radioactive fallout that created them also made them outcasts. Mutant ghettos filled the planet, and the so-called norms ruled with fear and prejudice. The breaking point came when Johnny Alpha, the same Alpha who would later become the greatest search-destroy agent, led a rebellion against the norm government. That rebellion became known as the Mutant Uprising of 2167. Among Johnny's officers stood General Clacton Fuzz, a veteran fighter known for his courage and absolute loyalty to the mutant cause. But who was Clacton Fuzz? Well, Clacton Fuzz was a very physically imposing mutant, his entire body covered in coarse dark hair, a mutation that marked him out instantly as different, especially in the artwork and on the pages of 2000 AD. Or I guess Star-Lord as it was back then. He wasn't a super mutant, he didn't have any psychic powers, he was just a well-disciplined, physically fit soldier, a tactician, and whose leadership was able to inspire those mutants around him. During the uprising, Fuzz commanded a mutant regiment in open battle against Norm forces. Descriptions from the comics and companion material portray him as a hard-driving officer who led from the front, blaster in hand, shouting encouragement to troops who had never before been allowed to fight for themselves. Clacton Fuzz's mutation gave him no special combat edge. His strength level was roughly that of a healthy human male in constant combat training. But that fur-covered body had one tragic drawback. It is extremely flammable. In a world full of laser fire, flamethrowers, and incendiary weapons, this was a deadly vulnerability, and one that would define his ending. Armed with a standard blaster, Clacton relied on tactics and morale rather than just pure brute force. His command style was simple: lead by example, never back down, and die before you surrender. The uprising reached its bloodiest phase when the mutant forces clashed with heavily armed Norm battalions. In one of those final confrontations, Clacton Fuzz fought on the front line, rallying his soldiers under heavy fire. Unfortunately for him, an incendiary round struck him, and the dark hair that covered his body erupted into flames. Even as the flames consumed him, Fuzz refused to fall. He raised his blaster and fired one last shot, killing the soldier who had struck him down. He then collapsed, engulfed by his own burning mutation. Witnesses at the battle scene recorded his final words, "Muties forever," a declaration that became the unofficial motto of the rebellion. Now, he obviously has the legacy of the battle, but he was also a father. He had a young child called Frinton Fuzz. And unlike his father, Frinton was not able to fight in the uprising due to being too young at the time. He would later join the Search and Destroy Agency and become one of the infamous Strontium Dogs, and through this become a mutant bounty hunter who was legally sanctioned to track down criminals across the galaxy. Where Clacton had fought in open warfare, Frinton was able to carry on his father's ideals into a new era, proving that mutants could serve as justice as well as defy tyranny. That generational bridge from revolutionary to law enforcer embodies the evolution of mutant society throughout the Strontium Dog canon. Though they may not have been accepted by the norms even when they were meant to be, his son went on to prove that the rebellion was over and that they could be a full part of society without it actually affecting anyone, and that the norms should just get over themselves. Obviously, Clacton Fuzz's death is one of the most poignant moments in that arc of the Strontium Dog history. He didn't die for personal gain or revenge. He just died for the right of representation, for the right of mutants to exist as equals. His flammability, the very trait that ended up killing him, serves as a metaphor for how difference can empower or destroy a world built on prejudice. And his final words, "Muties forever," turned a moment of agony into a rallying cry that still echoes across mutant culture within the comic book universe. Now, obviously it's a miniature in the game Strontium Dogs, and it came in the box set, I've got to remember now, the Mutant Army General Pack, and of course, look at him, he looks amazing. He is obviously a very rugged, fur-covered officer wielding his blaster. He is sighting down the weapon and getting ready to shoot. Stat-wise, he's nothing special. Move 6, shoot 2, fight 3, evade nothing. Defense 2 with a -1, which we'll come to in a minute. He's got a cool of 3, so he's not even a character. He doesn't get a star chip. That's crazy. Bounty 60,000 creds, notoriety of 6. His role is, of course, a mutant freedom fighter. He is a minor character. He has the rules lead from the front, which we'll cover in a second. And he has the mutation hairy, which gives him +1 to resist in close combat. So that would raise his resistance to 3. Or if he's been hit by a flame weapon, it drops down to resist 1. Ooh, that's painful. His known associates are General Arms, the Torso from Newcastle, Evans the Fist, Stud Boist, Johnny Alpha, and Midden Face McNulty. He's allied to any mutant, and his enemies include outlaws, pirates, slavers, and of course the Creelers. Now, the best thing about this guy, and one of my Discord members actually put it quite well, his stats are of a glass cannon. He is very good at shooting stuff with his thump gun. He has a nice high quality Stormer, which is a two-handed weapon, power 4, short range 8 inches with a +2 modifier, long range 24 with a -1 modifier, and it is high power. His gun can kick ass when it hits. Only problem you got is his stats suck, so shoot 2 is not great. No evade is really going to hurt you, and the resistance on this guy is not actually that great at all, which is a real shame. But let's have a quick look at the skills. Leading from the front, Clacton Fuzz had little regard for his own safety in combat, even when under heavy fire or hopelessly outnumbered. Fuzz is only pinned if the total number of hits rolled in a shooting attack exceeds his cool value, which is 3. However, he gains no cover benefit for light cover and only +1 resistance for heavy. So this guy, he won't get slowed down, or very rarely will be slowed down. Only problem is there's no point putting him in cover. He's not going to get much. This guy is running around, waving his arms, making himself a real bloody target, which is quite hilarious. I do like the idea of this character. I need to try him out in games for myself so I can get a better feel of who he is and what he is. And then we've pretty much reached the closing thoughts here. So in the video, you're probably going to be seeing the glamour shots right now. And while they're playing, we'll quickly go through the closing thoughts. Clacton Fuzz's story is short but unforgettable. A tale of defiance written in fire. He reminds us that courage doesn't always mean survival. Sometimes it's the will to stand when the world wants you gone. His son carried his name into legend, but it was Clacton Fuzz who gave the mutants their first cry of unity. Muties forever. And with that, I think we're done for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, I truly appreciate you stopping by to watch this. I know there's a lot that you could be doing instead, and every one of you that watches this video, I truly appreciate it. And if you manage to find an error with what I've said, and I guarantee there's going to be a couple in there, make sure you drop a comment below. And while you're down there, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, come join us on Discord. If you feel like buying me a cup of coffee, because by the time you're watching this, it's probably snowing in Canada, I have a button down there as well where you can support the channel. It's $2 a month Canadian, so it's not too bad, and that will help fund my addiction of coffee, plus go towards the odd paint set in the future. But until the next video, as always, cheers for watching. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and then go watch this one. This one up here. Give it a click. Bye-bye.